Thank you for watching tonight's movie presentation, Absence of Malice. Stay tuned to party with Hollywood's hottest late-night host, Arsenio, coming up on the Arsenio Hall Show. Tonight at 10:35 on Receptive Channel 9.
Good evening, I'm Heather Harden.
And I'm Rod Grams. Coming up next on Primetime News, it's an all-night session for the House of Representatives as they debate who has the authority to declare war.
In local news, another kind of war is being waged in St. Paul against adult magazines.
In New Hope, angered parents fight back after the suspension of a black principal.
And some old-time labor wounds are being healed at a Minnesota weapons company.
We'll have these stories, plus weather and sports.
Coming up next on Primetime News.
It would be just fun to drive, be a different side of me.
We asked people in a shopper's survey for their first impressions of the new 91 Geo Storm compared to other imports.
I like the style. I like the louvers on the back.
You spend a lot of time in your car. You want to feel good, you want to look good.
Sharp-looking car, but not a small car.
A sports car that I could afford.
Heartland Chevrolet Geo Dealers Shopper's Survey, 1991 Geo Storm.
Exactly what the people are looking for.
The golden anniversary edition of Icecapades is coming to the new Target Center, January 23rd through January 27th. KMSP TV is giving away 25 family 4-packs to the Thursday night, January 24th show. One lucky grand prize winner and their friends will watch this spectacular performance from a private luxury suite at Target Center. To enter, send a postcard with your name, address, and daytime phone number to Icecapades, in care of KMSP TV.
It's over. The tree has lost its glitter. The fruitcake is fossilized. And you're besieged by the gentle reminders of Christmas past. That's why Pizza Hut introduces the $5.99 pepperoni pizza deal. Get a delicious pepperoni pan pizza for just $5.99. But you'd better hurry because, unlike the fruitcake, this deal won't last forever.
Pizza Hut delivery now serving the Twin Cities. Check your mailbox, local newspaper, or Yellow Pages for more details.
President Bush appears to be on the verge of making a terrible mistake that will have tragic consequences for the whole world.
Minnesota Senator Paul Wellstone begs for more time in the Gulf crisis as Congress debates authorizing war.
From KMSP Television, America's #1 independent station, this is Prime Time News with Rod Grams, Heather Harden, meteorologist Joe Dandria, Perry Williams on sports, and the entire award-winning Prime Time News team.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us tonight. Capitol Hill is a very busy place this evening as Congress is debating whether or not to approve war.
Both the House and the Senate say they will almost certainly give President Bush immediate authority to use force against Iraq.
And for the latest, we go to Washington, D.C. and Skip Loescher.
The debate is in full swing on Capitol Hill tonight, and it will continue for at least the next 2 days, with both houses hoping to vote on the Persian Gulf resolutions Saturday.
The American people voted for George Bush, but they did not elect King George. It's Congress that must declare war.
Many in the House feel that way, and many others simply want to give economic sanctions more time to work.
It isn't fair to our kids. They'll be here now, they'll be somewhere else later, they'll be dying for the world, and everyone will say, "Go America, go do it for us." I say we can't afford it, it isn't fair, it won't work.
Still others in Congress want to flatly give the president the authority to attack Iraq if it isn't out of Kuwait by next Tuesday.
Pray that peace will come without resort to force, but we must give that vote of confidence to the President of the United States.
Debate in the Senate is following similar arguments.
Life is so precious. War is an option that you pursue when all other options have been tried. We have not given sanctions a chance.
Just wait. Doesn't say how long. 30 days, 30 months, 30 years. And so I'm not certain what kind of a signal that sent, but it seemed to me it takes Saddam Hussein off the hook.
The British pulled most of their diplomats out of Baghdad today. The U.S. and many other nations will follow suit on Saturday. And the White House urges all Americans, including news people, to get out of Iraq. Secretary of State Baker is in Saudi Arabia tonight, meeting with King Fahd. It is believed the two are discussing a possible timetable for war. UN Secretary General Perez de Cuellar is on his way to Baghdad tonight and a last-ditch peace talk with Saddam Hussein. En route, he'll meet with European foreign ministers in Geneva. I'm Skip Loescher in Washington for Primetime News.
Thank you very much, Skip. Well, Joint Chiefs of Staff Chairman Colin Powell is not underestimating the chances for war on Tuesday. During a speech in Washington, Powell said if war breaks out, it will undoubtedly happen suddenly. He said Iraq may not be expecting a Gulf battle or the preparedness of American forces.
They will not be dealing with 15-year-old Iranians being offered up cannon fodder. They will be dealing with a very powerful, capable force, a force that will have no other aim short of winning, and a force with the capability to win.
Powell said if war does break out, loss of life would hopefully be kept to a minimum.
Another Minnesota Army National Guard unit is now on its way to the Middle East in support of Operation Desert Shield. The 257th Military Police Company left this afternoon from Vogt Field near Camp Douglas, Wisconsin. It is the 7th Minnesota National Guard to be sent troops to the Gulf. The unit was placed on alert November 27th, received notification for active duty on December 2nd, and was deployed to Fort McCoy on December 9th, and today left for the Gulf. The 257th is trained to provide security for installations or convoys and for operating enemy prison and war facilities.
St. Thomas School of Divinity is inviting people of all faiths to participate in a peace vigil for the Middle East. St. Mary's Chapel will be open every day from noon until 8 p.m. until January 15th. That is the UN deadline for Iraq to leave Kuwait. Those attending are welcome to list in a register the name of relatives and loved ones serving in the Persian Gulf. Prayers will be said hourly for those listed and for all of those involved in the crisis.
The reality of war in the Gulf became more real today when the Red Cross stepped up its appeals for blood. The blood will be shipped to the Persian Gulf. At the St. Paul Red Cross, 100 units of blood a week will now be sent overseas. The American Red Cross began shipping blood to the Middle East in mid-December. Today, it tripled its estimate of blood needs. The St. Paul Red Cross says it can meet the increased demand without staging any additional drives. The Red Cross says the increased drain on blood will not threaten local supplies.
Protesters in Minneapolis today gathered to remind Senator Dave Durenberger of their concerns about Central America. About 50 people demonstrated against U.S. presence in El Salvador, and they urged Durenberger to oppose restoration of nearly $50 million in aid to that country, and they vowed to have their concerns heard in spite of the events being held in the Persian Gulf. Also in St. Paul, the protest by the homeless over police harassment. That story is coming up next.
And the president of the University of Minnesota explains why he's closing a rural campus. Stay with us.
Our dentist gave us a reason to switch toothpaste.
Baking soda. He recommended it for healthier teeth and gums.
In fact, 2 out of 3 dentists and hygienists recommend baking soda for healthier teeth and gums.
And only one major toothpaste has it. Arm & Hammer Dental Care, the baking soda toothpaste from the baking soda experts.
And here's refreshing news for gel lovers. Now there's a baking soda gel with the cool taste of freshly picked mint. Wait till you taste new Arm & Hammer Dental Care Gel.
The more crop residue you leave to conserve soil, the tougher it is to control grasses in your fields. But there's one grass herbicide that can take the pressure of these tough conditions. Encapsulated Microtech. Microtech is encapsulated to get through crop residue, and it's time released for season-long control. Encapsulated Microtech. It helps you conserve soil without sacrificing grass control.
Good morning. You're listening to WCCO Radio, 830.
Eric Escala with news.
The Minnesota Pollution Control Agency is moving forward with a...
Karen Falloon with weather.
We're in for a really beautiful day.
Hartman and Rosen with sports.
Mark, that's a terrible trade.
Well, don't sugarcoat it, Sid.
Boone and Erickson. News you want, people you know, on The Good Morning Show.
WCCO.
If you'd like to see one of the largest collections of oak bedroom furniture for your home, there's no place like home. From traditional to contemporary, wall units to children's furniture, there's no place like home. And if you'd like to see prices that make it all very affordable, there's no place like home. Home Oak and Leather, now open in Roseville, 2 blocks north of Rosedale at Snelling, and Bloomington, 494 in Lindale next to Quality Lincoln Mercury. Come see us, because there's just no place like home.
St. Paul is looking at a new ordinance to further restrict a minor's access to adult magazines, and if passed, the ordinance will require convenience stores to put adult material out of the sight and reach of children. But as Susan Austin reports, groups opposing the measure say it raises serious constitutional questions.
Inside this convenience store on the city's west side is a magazine rack that has generated complaints from neighbors. They say children's material like Mad Magazine does not belong on the same rack as adult magazines like Hustler and Penthouse. Some say the magazines are offensive to adults. Councilman Dave Thune wants to keep them out of the hands of children.
The fear was, and the complaints were, that children were, just by the virtue of the fact that they're accessible to it, able to peek in it, see through the covers when sometimes they weren't translucent.
State law requires that adult magazines be wrapped in opaque covers, but some say the titles alone are inappropriate for public display. Councilman Thune is asking the city council to go a step further by passing an ordinance to force St. Paul convenience stores to place all adult materials in an area inaccessible to minors. The idea has wide support among the city council, but booksellers say not only is it a violation of the First Amendment, it sets a dangerous precedent.
The City Council claims that what they're after is material that they consider to be obscene, but in fact they're dealing with a much broader range which would fall in a category considered indecent, and the interpretation on that could cover many, many thousands of books.
Booksellers are weighing a court challenge. A similar but less restrictive ordinance in Minneapolis has been upheld by the courts. With photographer Steve Panovich, Susan Austin, Primetime News.
The measure will be up for a final vote by the St. Paul City Council next week.
A special school board meeting was held in New Hope today so parents of black elementary students could speak their minds. They say the mostly white school district is not prepared to handle their children and that the recent suspension of a black elementary school principal is proof. Fritzy Borgwart has that story.
She has been called a nigger several times, and nor has a teacher done anything.
These parents have been concerned about racism at Meadow Lake Elementary School for months. The concern came to a head last week when Shirley Johnson, the Robbinsdale School District's only black principal, was suspended. According to the district's attorney, 40 school staff members came to the board to complain about Johnson's record of disciplining black students and about how she allowed a group of black parents to enter the school last month.
Certain allegations as to things that were said, certain children that were identified by parents, and the concern as to who was responsible for that and whether or not they were exercising proper authority.
You are absolutely destroying her, shortening her life. This system of racism in terms of how you do it, you could deal with it more sensitive than this.
These suburban parents brought inner-city activists with them. Then parent after parent stated their child's complaint. Some of the parents were white.
What is happening here is definitely about ignorance and about denial.
We have a district school that is heavily populated white, does not have enough people of color, that has a 20% rise in black enrollment, and hasn't took care of its business to meet that demand.
They have called him dirty and that they don't mix. He have told me several times that he have raised his hand in the classroom to answer questions, and the teacher looked over him.
By not calling on him, that will douse the fire to learn.
Hopefully, by the way we deal with this in terms of the concerns raised, we will be able to alleviate that. But I have to look at all of the concerns of all of the parents and be sure that I am always doing the best thing for all of the children.
The suspension of Shirley Johnson, according to the school district attorney, is still under investigation. And now a multicultural task force will investigate the complaints of the parents as well. With photographer Rod Worminger, Fritzy Borgwart, Primetime News, New Hope.
While on suspension, Johnson is collecting full salary. Her attorney advised her not to comment today.
Governor Arnie Carlson today addressed high school students about the role of government in today's society. Students who gathered for the annual Youth in Government program will spend the next 3 days in the roles of lawmakers, state judges, and constitutional officers. Carlson told them that the biggest mission of government is the creation of new jobs.
What sense is it for us to spend thousands of dollars giving you an opportunity to seek education, and when you finally complete your education, you stand up and you say, gee, there's no jobs in Minnesota, I think I'll have to go somewhere else.
The Youth in Government program will continue through Sunday.
They booed and jeered the president of the University of Minnesota as he visited Waseca today. He confirmed fears of the past week that he will recommend closing the campus there to save money. But Steve Goodspeed reports that 1,100 students and the community say they won't let it happen.
Even the president's recollections of his own small-town upbringing did little to appease the anger and frustration in this jammed auditorium. Students, teachers, farmers, and business people were unanimous in their feeling that the U was turning its back on the region while rejecting a plan campus officials claim would save $1 million a year.
If it wasn't for this campus, there are an awful lot of farmers and people who are involved in the agribusiness industries that would not have made it through the crisis.
Husselmo says the U's budget problems are too big, that the ag instructional system across the state is inefficient and must be streamlined. He says the savings would be used in part to bolster the extension program and the ag experiment stations.
We are not going to abandon those of you who want to come to Waseca. We are going to provide opportunities for you.
Your decision tells me, sir, with all due respect, that I am not worthy of a University of Minnesota education simply because I chose to go into a 2-year program.
From Main Street businesses to commodity groups, supporters came from across the southern half of the state. Jim Zimmerman was one of many farmers who arrived by tractor.
This is southern Minnesota. This is the heart of the Corn Belt as far as Minnesota is concerned, and this is where the college should be.
If they don't pay attention now, we'll keep trying until they do pay attention, because we're not going to lose the school.
In light of all the emotion and the determination seen here today, one point was made repeatedly, that the fight to keep Waseca open is not over, and in fact, it may have just begun. With photographer John Overby, Steve Goodspeed for Primetime News in Waseca.
The plan must still be approved by the Board of Regents, and several local lawmakers say they will fight it.
The quality of children's education remains dismal. A report by the National Association of Secondary School Principals says 8th graders are being treated like human sponges. Teachers are throwing information at the kids and hope they somehow absorb and retain it. The report is supported by the American Federation of Teachers and is calling the traditional public school program cold and canned. About 20 people rallied outside Mayor Jim Scheibel's office to protest alleged police harassment. Members of the homeless advocacy group Up and Out of Poverty Now say officers have tried to intimidate those who occupy HUD homes. They say the police action is illegal and it violates protesters' rights under the Constitution. The group wants the mayor to investigate those charges. And coming up next, more fuel for the greenhouse theory.
And later in the show, a look at a company developing ways to help your body heal.
And whether snow is making for slippery travel over parts of the region tonight, I'll tell you how long it will last when we return.
On the next MASH.
As far as anyone knows, I'm a Jewish chaplain. Got that, son?
Yes, Your Hebrewess.
The CIA's on a secret mission.
Don't cross me, Colonel. We know where your family lives.
At any moment, death could reach out and touch someone.
You're gonna kill yourself.
If I have to.
Yeah, if we had more men like you, we'd have less men like you.
There's something funny.
Quiet, or I'll use you to clean a cannon.
About the next MASH.
Thursday night at 10 on Receptive Channel 9. The Winter Wonderland of Values on the Oldsmobile 88. Great values. Get up to $1,750 cash back on every 88 in stock. Get the 88's famous comfort with room for 6 adults. Get great trunk space and great mileage too. Then get guaranteed satisfaction with the Oldsmobile Edge. The Winter Wonderland of Values. Great values on the Oldsmobile 88. See your new generation of Oldsmobile dealer today.
It's morning, and another day. There are kids to get dressed, breakfast to be made. The bus is coming, as usual, just a few minutes sooner than it should. But for a few moments between the sound of your alarm clock and the first shout of a waking child, you have a little time to think of what this is all about. What it's about is what it's always been about. Big people helping little people to be big themselves one day. It's not easy. It never has been. But then your mother managed to live through it, didn't she? Besides, when you really think about it, what else could you possibly do that could ever be so important? MJB wishes you a good morning and a wonderful day.
What natural ingredient makes Freeman hair treatment special? The one we've used for over 4 generations. The Freeman family.
Well, you wouldn't know it by stepping outside, but researchers say the Earth is, in fact, heating up.
British and U.S. scientists released figures showing that 1990 was the hottest year on record, up 0.09 of 1 degree from the previous record year of 1988. One American scientist says the figures are hard evidence the greenhouse effect is a real threat.
But how much should we worry about 0.09?
Doesn't seem like much, does it?
Maybe it is. I don't know. Joe, your opinion.
We should make a correction. The graphic there said 9,000th. It should have been 0.09, right? That would be.
Ah, you are a better mathematician than we are.
Well, we have some warmer air moving in for later on in the weekend, but for right now it's still fairly chilly outside. The first thing I want to do this evening is take a look at the snow cover situation around the state. And basically, you'll see it hasn't changed much over the last couple of weeks. We're still seeing the least amount of snow from the Twin Cities westward, including the Red River Valley of the north. Most of the snow is on the ground again in the Arrowhead region, over 2 feet up around the Boundary Waters area, and also in the southeastern corner of the state, down around Caledonia and Preston, still reporting in excess of 1 foot. And more snow is falling down across that area of the state tonight. As a matter of fact, snow is falling over a good chunk of the state tonight, but most of it should fall in the southeastern corner of the state, where there are snow advisories up, including Mankato, Austin, Albert Lee, and the Rochester area. Snow advisories also cover the southern half of Wisconsin, much of Iowa, and the northern part of Illinois for 3 to 5 inches of new snow by sometime later tomorrow morning. 1 to 3 inches a little bit farther to the northwest, including us here in the Twin Cities, and even lesser amounts as you head up into the northwestern part of the state, perhaps up to an inch or snow. Inch or so, I guess that is. Here's a look at the radar situation. Not too impressive this evening. In a heavy snow situation, we'd see a solid disk of blue right around the center of the scope. We've just been seeing patches of snow moving from south to north, so the snow should be occasional throughout the nighttime hours and should basically stay on the light side across most of the metropolitan area. Heavier amounts just to the southeast. Well, today here in the Twin Cities, we had a lot of cloud cover, but that did not stunt our temperatures. We still made it up to about 18 degrees for our high today. Our morning low of 8, averages now are about 21 and 2, with 0.3 of an inch of snow officially at the airport. Currently in the Twin Cities, we do have a cloudy sky with some light snow falling. Our temperatures at 18, relative humidity at 84%. The winds now are out of the east at 10, wind chill index 1 above. The pressure's falling, 30.28. Look at the satellite picture this evening. So there's a large, strong area of high pressure sitting over the eastern half of Canada right now. That is combining with a couple of low-pressure troughs off to the south and west to kick up some moisture out of the Gulf of Mexico, bringing us our clouds and our moisture. Most of the dynamics or support with the system continues to run well to the south of us from Oklahoma right on up into the Ohio Valley, where there were lots of advisories in effect today for sleet, freezing rain, freezing drizzle, and snow. And they will be extended tomorrow all the way up into the New England area, where they could see some heavy snowfall. Another weather system entering the Pacific Northwest right now, some rain showing up in western coastal portions of Washington and Oregon. Heaviest rains have been down along the Gulf Coast region. Lake Charles, Louisiana, picked up 5.5 inches of rainfall from some of this very heavy thunderstorm activity. That'll continue to soak northern Florida later tonight. Farther north, it changes over to snow into Wisconsin and portions of Iowa and Minnesota. Omaha reported about 2 inches of new snow today, as did Spencer, Iowa. Can you believe it was 35 degrees below zero this morning at International Falls, and that was a record low temperature for International Falls, but look at how quickly they've warmed up. 14 right now up there, 15 at Duluth, 20 now at Rochester and Eau Claire, mid-20s across much of Wisconsin and Iowa, and we're going to stay in the low to mid-20s, it looks like, for highs for the next couple of days. All the sloppy weather should be moving rapidly off to the east during the day tomorrow. From Michigan all the way down into Florida, there'll be lots of precipitation. 35 in the nation's capital tomorrow, 32 with snow expected in Chicago, 45 in Denver. High pressure will be building in from the northwest. We may start out some clouds, a little bit of light snow here in the metro area, but I think it'll clear out as the day goes along. Highs tomorrow, teens, northwest, 20s across southeastern Minnesota and for much of Wisconsin. Here's the way our forecast shapes up for the Twin Cities. Tonight, occasional snow. I think we may see 1, possibly 2 inches of light, fluffy snow here in the metro area locally, and 13 to 18 for our low temperature for tonight. So temperatures won't be going anywhere tonight. For tomorrow, looking forward to decreasing clouds, snow ending early, 20 to 25 for the high, north to northwest winds at about 6 to 12. For tomorrow night, mostly clear, lows of 0 to 5 above, and a nice day shaping up for Saturday, fair and mild with highs in the 20s. Rod and Heather, we're still looking for some 30-degree temperatures either Sunday or Monday.
Okay.
Wow, that's something.
It's going to warm up.
We'll be nice and warm when we have the Media Ski Challenge Sunday. At Trollhagen.
Mm-hmm.
Downhill.
Thank you, Joe. More news in just a moment.
But first, a look at tonight's Daily 3 numbers.
Welcome to the U.S. West Cellular time trials. To prove that mobile phone service from U.S. West Cellular actually buys you time, we're having two identical businessmen race to reach their anxious customer, Gwendolyn, at her desk. And the best time wins. Ready, set, go.
Hello, Gwendolyn.
We have a winner. Proof that with U.S. West Cellular, what you're really buying is time.
U.S. West Cellular, making the most of your time.
It's hard to believe a farm exists that has no need for the versatility of Blade X herbicide. No need for burn down and residual weed control in corn. No need to rotate without carryover. No need to tank mix with dual or lasso. But in fact, there's an army of farmers who have no need for Blade X at all. Then again, they're not growing corn. You are.
There's more to Robbinsdale Farm and Garden than our name implies.
With a complete pet care section, an FTD florist area,
Our downstairs specialty store, and everything for the lawn and garden.
Robbinsdale Farm, Garden, and Pet Supply. So much more.
There's a smart new line of waste baskets from Hefty, with a wider step than those other cans, lids that stay open as long as you like, and a retainer ring that locks bags in and out of sight. Waste baskets designed for today's lifestyles. From who else? Hefty.
Enjoy the ambiance of northern Minnesota at Call of the Wild, capturing the spirit of the Northwoods. Extraordinary gifts and the largest selection of traditional classics by Woolrich. Call of the Wild in Woolrich. Come, join the adventure.
Do you like variety? Then discover Pizza and Pasta. Choose from zesty lasagna, homemade hoagies, rigatoni, spaghetti, and our freshly made pizza. This time, call Pizza and Pasta. We deliver variety.
Tonight in business, MCI is setting up a new calling service for Operation Desert Shield. The phone center was set up by Minneapolis, a Minnesota company. It is transportable with a mobile earth station that is currently positioned near the Kuwait border and is designed to move with the troops through the desert. Digital equipment, struggling with a computer industry slump, is eliminating more than 3,000 jobs by imposing the first layoffs in its 33-year history. And another thrift is going under. The Wall Street Journal says the feds will bail out Columbia Savings and Loan at a cost of more than $1 billion. In national stocks, the day's gainers were UAL, Gap Incorporated, U.S. Surgical Corp. The losers were Enron, TRW, and Melville. In regional stocks, the gainers were Golden Valley Microwave, Land's End, and TCF. The losers were MTS, Arco, and Winnebago. The Dow Jones closed up 28 points today, stopping at 2498. On light trading of 124.5 million shares. Hyaluronic acid has become a buzzword in the cosmetics industry, but it has long been used as a healing agent to protect the eye during cataract surgery. Now a local company has found a way to produce it in the laboratory, and it could open huge markets worldwide.
This is what it looks like. Hyaluronic acid is clear and a little gooey. It is found naturally in the combs on a rooster's head, but Lifecore Biomedical in Minneapolis has found a way to separate it from a bacteria where it also occurs naturally. It is easier and less expensive to produce this way, and its potential is great. It is used to sustain the eye during surgery, but Lifecore chemists say it can prevent the adhesions that form after any kind of surgery when the body overheals, causing thick scar tissue. Lifecore Biomedical hopes to have final approval to market the substance by 1993.
All of these products I've told you about have never had any reaction in humans, any problems. They're very safe, natural materials. The question you have to prove to the FDA is, are we telling the truth when we say this will work for this?
Hyaluronic acid is so natural and kind to the body tissue that cosmetic companies have started putting it in lotions, claiming it reduces wrinkles. Lifecore sells a small amount to Revlon, but they're not comfortable with the claims.
I believe it's a form of lying. Absolutely, it's deception. It's certainly deception.
Lifecore Biomedical makes no such claims about hyaluronic acid. While it is banking heavily on the future of the liquid, they also sell tissue-compatible dental implant materials. One is a system for implanting artificial teeth right into the bone. Another is granules for forming synthetic bone in the jaw. Investors are interested in this company, but analysts urge caution.
It's a company that is basically breaking even right now, or they reported a small loss last year. They could report a small loss again this year. And so you're banking on these opportunities developing for them, which could be large opportunities, but it is subject to regulatory approval. And they have to go through the FDA, Federal Drug Administration, to get approval on these uses.
Lifecore recently issued $7 million in industrial revenue bonds to build a new facility here in Chaska. That worried investors because it added considerable debt to the company's balance sheet. But it is also a sign of the confidence Lifecore Biomedical has in its own future.
Lifecore Biomedical has a very impressive distribution system for such a small company, which analysts look very favorably upon. For example, the giant Johnson & Johnson will market its hyaluronic acid. And another interesting application, it appears to aid the delivery and use by the body of chemotherapy drugs.
Governor Arnie Carlson today marched to the music of labor and business. The governor is touring the state on his inaugural week. FMC Corporation, a big Minnesota defense contractor, is his latest stop. And as Maureen Reeder reports tonight, FMC is working to improve labor management relations.
And so it is a very large machine shop and workshop.
They build big Navy ship gun and launching systems here. This is a rare look inside a defense contracting plant. FMC has been especially shy after getting too much attention during a major strike 20 years ago and another 4 years ago. Strikes that cut deep into labor management relations.
This, as you may recall, received a great deal of attention as a result of a strike. And now you're beginning to see some very good relationships between business and management.
So now, for the first time, cameras are welcome. The plant is showing off how the wounds have healed. This welding program is an example cited by the AFL-CIO of how business should work. When layoffs occurred because of greater efficiency and lower defense budgets, FMC offered to retrain workers.
I think these workers are an outstanding example of the labor force that we have in the state, and wherever labor and management are going to talk about those kinds of issues, that's where I'm going to be at.
So while union officials say they're eager to work with the new governor and business, the rank and file is still a bit skeptical. One machinist says this is a union shop, a union that did not endorse Arnie Carlson for governor.
It's okay. If we get our work and everything out, it's nice to see him here. It's good for the company. And, to me, it doesn't make no difference.
But this Republican did get some union support in his bid for governor, as well as some business support. And now, as he faces a state budget shortfall, cutbacks, and possible new taxes, he needs the trust of both. With photographer Ed Shepard, Maureen Reeder, Primetime News.
And on the topic of his budget, Carlson says he's still looking at cuts and everything is still on the table.
And turning to sports, the Gophers men's basketball squad is in Illinois hoping for their second Big Ten win.
While the lady basketball Gophers are getting ready to open their Big Ten season at home. Perry is next with Primetime Sport.
It isn't just clear, sparkling water that makes Freeman shampoos and conditioners among the finest, most natural available. Or the moisturizing sea kelp proteins. Or even the conditioning you get from natural herbs and flowers. What makes Freeman treatments special is an ingredient we've used for over 4 generations. The Freeman family.
Freeman Sea Mist Shampoo and Sea Mist Conditioner available at Target.
Stroh's and Stroh's Light present your great getaway from winter, the Minnesota Sportsman Show, Tuesday, January 15th through Sunday the 20th at the St. Paul Civic Center, with daily stage shows starring from Silver Dollar City, the Brunson Brothers, the Great American Lumberjack Show, Tom Dawkins and the Oak Ridge Retrievers, Flash and Crash and more. Also daily fishing clinics. Save $1 or pick up free discount coupons at United Stores, Total Mart stations, or wherever Stroh's and Stroh's Light is sold. The Sportsman Show at the St. Paul Civic Center, January 15th through the 20th, presented by Stroh's and Stroh's Light. Don't miss. On guard! Take that! Back it!
Watch it. Cards battle it out in the new high card game from the Minnesota State Lottery. You can win up to 3 times on each ticket if your card beats the dealer's card. Up to $5,000 instantly. Play high card.
You can't possibly win, you know.
Says who?
Here in the rules. The high card wins.
Sheesh.
Here at Chi-Chi's, we hear
Give me a chimney.
a lot. But lately, we've been hearing
Give me a chimney.
even more. Because now when you say,
Give me a chimney. Give me a chimney.
you get our famous chimichanga, plus a chili con queso and hot fudge sundae for just $7.95. So just say,
I'll have the chimichanga special, please.
What? There's one in every crowd.
Chi-Chi's, a celebration of... Give me a chimney. Food.
Sharpshooters, sharp dressers, jugglers, muscle men. Yeah! It's always a circus on Night Court.
Weeknights at 6:30 on Receptive Channel 9.
The Gopher basketball team lost a heartbreaker tonight at Illinois, 67-66. Minnesota blowing a 13-point lead in the second half. Clem Haskell and his team jumped out to an early lead on Kevin Lynch. A nice backdoor play here. Watch the senior out of Bloomington get the alley-oop and in for 2 of his 16 on the night. Good night for Walter Bond, his 3rd game back from injury. Here the short jumper from 12 feet away. He finished with 18 as the Gophers led by 10 at the halftime. Illinois kept in it by free throw shooting. They had twice as many foul shots as the Gophers, and the shooting of Andy Kaufman from long range. He was high for Illinois tonight. The Gophers led by 2 with seconds to go in the game. Watch Rennie Clemens, the freshman. He puts it up. He's fouled by Rob Metcalf. Sank the basket. He went on to sink the free throw, and Illinois goes on to sink the Gophers by 1. 67-66, a heartbreaking loss. Gophers are now 0-2 in the Big Ten, but they will open their home Big Ten season Saturday afternoon against Iowa. The Hawkeyes warming up tonight with a game against Michigan as the Wolverines jumped out to a 10-0 lead in this one. Demetrius Caleb with a jumper from outside. Back came the Hawkeyes. Val Barnes, the easy giveaway, steal and score. Then Rodell Davis will get the break, and he will score. The Hawkeyes came storming back, and they took the lead in the second half and held on to win it at the buzzer, 79-78. They win it as the Wolverines drop to 0-3 in the Big Ten. 2 other Big Ten games tonight. Michigan State pulled away to beat Wisconsin. Ohio State all over Northwestern by 40 points. The Gopher women's basketball team has its Big Ten home opener tomorrow night against Purdue at Williams Arena. Should be yet another difficult test for the Gophers, trying to rebuild their program under a new head coach. As our Jim Gilliland reports, it's been a rocky road so far.
How do we normally play defense?
It's been all uphill for Linda Hill McDonald and her team. The first-year coach has a 4-8 record, but saw her available number of warm bodies dip to 8 at one time. When freshman Carol Ann Shudlick, number 42, and sophomore Stacy Carver, number 35, were out with stress fractures. Both are back to part-time status, but team improvement has been slow to come.
Success doesn't come overnight. The program at Temple was not successful when I first got there, and it took some time to build that to a level of success. And I know that it's going to take some time to build that in here, too. So I just have to be patient.
Ellen Kramer is the lone senior in this rebuilding program. Her 18.6 points per game are not her only contributions.
She's a tremendous leader for us. She's a tremendous young woman, and she's shown a lot of character through all this. She really has been a catalyst on the floor for us, as well as a team leader off the floor.
We're equally as talented and, equally as athletic as other teams. So hopefully the younger players, it's going to all come together and everybody's going to realize their potential and gain more confidence. And then I think we're going to be able to do something.
The problems of the Lady Gophers won't go away simply because they're returning to their home court. 7th-ranked nationally Purdue comes in for a game tomorrow night, and Illinois, surprise team in the conference, off to a 2-0 start, will be here on Sunday. With photographer Peter Brown, Jim Gilliland, Primetime Sports at the University of Minnesota.
And the Timberwolves continue their Florida road trip tomorrow night at Miami. The Wolves coming off a victory at Orlando last night. NBA scores tonight, Indiana by 7 over New York. Look at this, Sacramento the lowest losing point total in the NBA since 1954. The Clippers losing to Washington, and San Antonio leading Orlando in the 4th. In hockey, the North Stars playing Buffalo Saturday night at the Met Center. The Stars with a 5-point lead over last place Toronto in the North Division. The Leafs playing first place Chicago tonight, and this is about their lone highlight. In the first period, they open up the scoring behind a goal by Mike Krushelnyski. 1-0. After that, it's been pretty much all Chicago, especially the duo Michel Goulet and Jeremy Roenick. Goulet and Roanoke combining there for the goal, Roanoke getting it. And the Roanoke later on in the first period picks up his 21st. So far tonight, Roanoke has 2 goals to assist, Goulet has 2 goals to assist, and Chicago is just killing Toronto. It is now 7-2 Blackhawks. They were early in the third period. Boston over Quebec tonight 5-3. Pittsburgh beats Calgary 5-1. Pete Rose receiving another jolt today. The eligibility committee for the Baseball Hall of Fame recommended that Rose or anybody else barred from the game should not even appear on the Hall of Fame ballot. Rose would be eligible for election next year. Hall of Fame pitcher Jim Palmer showing boxers are not the only dumb athletes trying to make a comeback. The ex-Oriole great is working out and hoping to latch on with some team. He's now 45, and since retiring 7 years ago, has worked as a TV analyst and as an underwear spokesperson. The Orioles did add a punch to their lineup today, trading 3 young players to Houston for first baseman Glenn Davis, who has hit at least 20 homers in the last 6 years, despite playing in the huge confines of the Astrodome. Davis is only 30, but could be a free agent after this season in Baltimore. Big news tonight, the Gophers' heartbreaking loss at Illinois.
Thank you, Perry.
Thank you, Perry.
We'll be back right after this.
Announcing new Extra Hold Fast Teeth, the strongest powder adhesive ever. It's making it harder than ever to spot denture wearers, because now they don't look and feel like denture wearers. This amazing new Fast Teeth gives you a more powerful seal that's virtually airtight. So powerful it holds better than any powder you've ever used before. So natural you'll hardly feel it. And if you don't know your dentures are there, how can anyone else? New Fast Teeth. Nothing's closer to real.
Levitt's January sale and clearance.
Low, low prices.
Huge selection.
In stock, ready to go.
Only Levitt's could bring you a sale this big.
On approved credit, you pay no money down.
No payments until May 1991.
And no finance charges if paid in full by the May due date.
Save on factory fresh furniture.
With no down payment.
No payments till May.
And no finance charges if paid by the May due date.
For a limited time only.
You'll love it at Levitt's.
The golden anniversary edition of Icecapades is coming to the new Target Center, January 23rd through January 27th. KMSP TV is giving away 25 family 4-packs to the Thursday night, January 24th show. One lucky grand prize winner and their friends will watch this spectacular performance from a private luxury suite at Target Center. To enter, send a postcard with your name, address, and daytime phone number to Icecapades, in care of KMSP TV.
Our dentist gave us a reason to switch toothpaste.
Baking soda. He recommended it for healthier teeth and gums.
In fact, 2 out of 3 dentists and hygienists recommend baking soda for healthier teeth and gums.
And only one major toothpaste has it. Arm & Hammer Dental Care, the baking soda toothpaste from the baking soda experts.
And here's refreshing news for gel lovers. Now there's a baking soda gel with the cool taste of freshly picked mint. Wait till you taste new Arm & Hammer Dental Care Gel.
Well, for fans of one of the holiday season's favorite ballets, there is still one more present under the tree. After a 4-year absence, Lois Holton's Nutcracker Fantasy will be back on stage in the Twin Cities this week. Holton says she's decided to bring the production back to Minneapolis after getting hundreds of requests. The production will be at the Avita Institute in South Minneapolis for a total of 6 performances beginning tonight and running through Sunday. And also the final play of the season at the Guthrie Theater will open to the public tomorrow night. Medea, the story of a woman betrayed, opens under the direction of Garland Wright. It's often called one of the most searing tragedies of all time. Medea will play a limited 3-week run from tomorrow night through February 2nd, concluding the 90-91 season at the Guthrie.
And finally tonight, the music industry has named its list of some of the best and most prestigious contenders for the 1991 Grammy Awards. Leading the list with 8 Grammy nominations is Phil Collins for Album of the Year. Other nominees include Mick Hamer, Quincy Jones, Mariah Carey, and Wilson Phillips. Contenders for Best New Artist are Wilson Phillips, Mariah Carey, Lisa Stansfield, Black Crowes, and the Kentucky Headhunters. Last year's Best New Artist Grammy winner, Milli Vanilli, had to forfeit their award after lip-syncing their songs. Winners of the 33rd Annual Grammy Awards will be announced in New York on February 20th. And I know, Rod, that's a big night in your life.
Just another night. Just another show. More music. Sing the weather for us.
No, just another winter day.
Lip-sync it then.
Looking forward to high temperatures about 20 to 25. Do expect an inch or 2 of snow later tonight into tomorrow morning. It should end early. You might want to allow just a little extra time heading off to work or school tomorrow morning.
Okay, Joe. Thank you very much.
And thank you for joining us. We do appreciate it. Good night, everyone.
We'll see you tomorrow night. Good night.
Get conservative. Have you got your pearls on?
Yeah, it's gotta look good.
Bang! Fresh. Younger? Older?
She showed me a gazillion different frames.
Have you got your pearls on?
Those are definitely pearls.
Definitely pearls.
Bought one pair with a coupon and they gave me a second pair.
Promised they'd be perfect.
Guaranteed it. Why just wear glasses when you can put on pearls?
I mean, I gotta look good.
Pearl and Pearl Vision Express for glasses in 1 hour. Call 1-800-YES-EYES for locations.
McDonald's presents Lean TV. Why Lean TV? You don't need TV gimmicks to introduce the leanest in the business. Our new McLean Deluxe, with the only 91% fat-free beef patty. McDonald's McLean Deluxe tastes tremendous. Okay, all right, gotta have TV gimmicks. Here's one. 91% fat-free, 100% McDonald's. Want to see it lean? McDonald's new 91% fat-free McLean Deluxe.
Not long ago, these women would have shied away from these hugs. You would too if you were wearing a diaper. But today, Johnson & Johnson brings you the breakthrough. Serenity Guards. Bladder control protection so advanced you'll never need anything bulky again. Serenity holds as much as something 5 times its size, locking liquid into a gel that won't leak. That's proven protection. So give yourself a hug for discovering Serenity from Johnson & Johnson.
Mama keeps yellow dandy like a dandelion.
Oh, you know I love my mama. Clorox 2 Color Safe Bleach cleans, makes colors pop, better than detergent alone.
Mama's got the magic of Clorox 2.
In February, the movies on 9 are hot. Twilight Zone the movie, running on empty. Starting over, Little Nikita in 91. 9's the one for movies.
Minnesota's receptive Channel 9.
Brain-snapping, wear-you-out kind of fun? Meet me here on the next Arsenio Hall show.
Thursday night at 10:35 on Receptive Channel 9.
Hey, can I ask you something?
Sure, all right.
Which beer would you rather try?
The darker one. This one, Your Honor.
Here's Budweiser, and this is Coors Extra Gold.
Really?
All right. Want to know something else?
What's that?
58% of Bud drinkers prefer Coors Extra Gold in an independent taste test.
What makes this to me?
Coors Extra Gold, slow brewed for that real beer flavor and real beer color, the way beer was meant to be. So what are you going to do?
Gonna switch.
Coors Extra Gold. No doubt about it. Beer is back.
There's no doubt about it.
Here at Chi-Chi's, we hear
Give me a chimney.
a lot. But lately, we've been hearing
Give me a chimney.
even more. Because now when you say,
Give me a chimney. Give me a chimney.
you get our famous chimichanga, plus a chili con queso and hot fudge sundae for just $7.95. So just say,
I'll have the chimichanga special, please. What?
there's one in every crowd.
Chi-Chi's a celebration of
Give me a chimney.
food.
We want to come out and party and play.
Come party with Nia Peoples and the rhythm of the streets on the Party Machine.
Weeknights at 12:05 on Receptive Channel 9.